Welcome back to another explainer. Man, I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today because we are diving headfirst into the terrifying, chaotic descent of the 2026 movie Do Not Enter. We're going to break down exactly how a standard, modern-day urban exploration completely spirals into an absolute supernatural nightmare. We'll be tracking the psychology, the dark lore, and the pure horror that unfolds. So, let's dive right in. Now picture this number for a second. 82. It's highly specific, and honestly, it's incredibly disappointing. That is the total view count on the latest video uploaded by our protagonist urban explorer group, The Creepers. For a group that literally risks arrest and bodily harm just to document forbidden places, 82 views is devastating. But this single number perfectly sets up their desperate motivation. It explains exactly why they are suddenly willing to risk absolutely everything, including their own lives, just for a taste of real viral fame. But, before the supernatural horror even kicks off, we really have to look at the human conflict here. It's a clash of two rival factions. On one side, we have our protagonists, the Creepers, led by Rick. They have the strict golden rule. Take only photos, leave only footprints. They preserve art. On the flip side, you've got their bitter rivals, the Scavengers. This group represents the darkest side of internet culture. They use guns, they embrace violence, and they actively steal from the sites they explore, all just to shock their audience and get clicks. It's a fundamental ideological clash over how to actually achieve fame. And that exact clash of ideologies, it leads them straight to their ultimate target, the Paragon Hotel. Driven by this agonizing need to break past those 82 views, Rick plans a highly dangerous heist into this legendary building. It's been totally abandoned since the 1980s, it's dripping with dark, sinister rumors, and urban legend says there is $300 million in missing gangster money hidden somewhere inside. But Rick stays firm to his code. He demands the team only take photos and videos to go viral. Absolutely no stealing the money. So right away, we're looking at a total powder keg of conflicting motivations. You've got Rick, who is in it for pure exploration, but his girlfriend Diane has an obsessive desperation for Instagram fame. In fact, she secretly disobeys Rick and leaks their location online. This massive mistake draws two wild cards straight to the hotel. Todd and his violent scavengers who want to steal that $300 million, and Frank, a guy claiming to be a journalist writing an article, but who is actually secretly searching for his missing wife. Everyone is walking into this building with a completely different, totally selfish agenda. Just getting inside the Paragon is a nightmare in itself. Because the main entrances are sealed, they actually have to sneak past the cops and crawl through these incredibly claustrophobic, pitch-black underground tunnels. And as you can probably imagine, it's horrifying. They are literally swarmed by thousands of rats. This grueling physical toll right at the start perfectly mirrors their upcoming psychological descent into madness. The tension immediately ratchets up, proving just how dangerously committed this group is to getting what they want. And then, bam, the entire genre of the story just violently shifts. We go from a tense urban exploration thriller straight into pure supernatural horror. Once inside, Diane decides to go live on Instagram, wandering off alone to play an old piano. Suddenly, this heavy, unnatural sound echoes through the hall. Diane runs, she trips, and right as her camera hits the floor, something terrifying is captured. A massive, horrifying pale claw reaches out from the darkness and violently snatches her away. It's all caught right on her dropped phone. So naturally, the rest of the group frantically starts searching for Diane. And what they find is, well, it's an unforgettable visual that brilliantly illustrates the horrific scale of the danger they are in. They find a massive tree growing right inside the middle of the hotel. But instead of leaves, its branches are completely covered in dangling phones, cameras, and cables from past explorers. It is quite literally a monument of dead tech from countless missing victims, guaranteeing that not a single image of this pale creature has ever successfully leaked to the outside world. Right as they're trying to process this terrifying tree, the dread just spikes to a 10. The rival scavengers suddenly show up, guns drawn, and take the creepers hostage, demanding to know where the $300 million is hidden. But as they're fighting, they stumble across a hidden room. Inside is a starved, deeply traumatized survivor named Beth, the photographer who came in months ago with Frank's missing wife. She just stares at them in the dark and delivers this incredibly chilling warning. He is coming. You will all die. Right before the pale creature violently attacks the group from the shadows. Okay, so total chaos erupts. The creature is literally using these giant holes in the floorboards to hunt them down. But while they're fleeing the crossfire, one of the creepers, Cora, manages to discover a security control room, and what she finds there connects the bloody timeline of the hotel's past. She finds an old, blood-stained VHS tape. Playing it, she uncovers the terrifying lore of the Paragon Hotel. Back in 1980, the owner's wife wasn't just murdered by an intruder. Her heart was completely ripped out, the hotel abruptly closed, and the owner vanished. But the twisted truth is, the owner never actually left. All right, we really need to dive into this dark ritual because this is where the plot just entirely thickens. The missing owner transformed himself into that pale monster using a satanic book gifted to him by a gangster, and he has been methodically executing this horrific step-by-step master plan. Step 1, the transformation ritual, where he actually ate his own wife's heart in 1980 to gain dark powers. Step 2, the willing bride, finding someone to share his power. And step 3, secret soul integration, merging with that bride to become a completely unstoppable, immortal demon. The crucial thing to understand here is that the monster isn't just randomly killing people. He kept Diane alive for a very specific reason. She is the absolute perfect sacrifice for step 2. He provides her with a pristine wedding dress and places the satanic book right in front of her. He needs her to read it and choose to put on the dress herself. You see, he chose Diane because her modern, desperate obsession with social media fame perfectly mirrors his ancient, twisted hunger for dark power. He's literally just waiting for her vanity to convince her to willingly join him. Kind of makes you wonder, right? How far would any of us go for ultimate validation? While Diane is literally wrestling with this horrific choice, the rest of the hotel turns into an absolute slaughterhouse. The greedy scavenger leader, Todd, actually manages to find the $300 million, but the creature drops in and instantly eats his heart. The other scavenger, Mac, tries to sprint away in sheer terror, but gets decapitated by a hidden metal wire. And then, in easily the most devastating moment, Frank, our supposed journalist, finally opens a door only to find the mutilated corpse of his missing wife sitting in a chair. Her heart was ripped out exactly like the owner's wife. Frank is absolutely broken by this, but strangely, it gives him clarity. Meanwhile, Diane actually puts on the wedding dress to try and trick her way out of the room, but the creature corners her. Just then, Frank sprints in to save her. Knowing he has absolutely nothing left to lose, Frank sacrifices himself. He tackles the creature with everything he has, launching them both out of a high interior window. They plummet downward, and in a moment of brilliant poetic justice, Frank fatally impales the monster directly onto the spiked branches of the very phone tree that held the evidence of its past crimes. The monster is finally dead. Which brings us to the aftermath and this genuinely staggering number, 100 million. Remember, we started this explainer with a pitiful 82 views. But after surviving this unimaginable nightmare, the remaining creepers upload their footage. The video of the pale claw, the terror, the hotel, it absolutely explodes online to over 100 million views. It instantly grants Diane the mega celebrity status that she was quite literally willing to die for. They survived and they won the internet. But, it doesn't end without a real twist of final irony. Rick, our rigidly principled leader, the guy who kicked a member out earlier just for taking a piece of graffiti, completely breaks his strict golden rule. When he finally escapes the hotel, it's revealed he smuggled out a massive chunk of that missing gangster's millions in his bag. The survivors get exactly what they wanted, fame and immense fortune, but it required Rick to completely, utterly abandon his moral code in the end. As we wrap up this explainer on Do Not Enter, it really leaves us with this lingering, incredibly provocative question. I mean, think about it. They defeated the monster, they gained immense wealth, and they achieved unprecedented viral fame. But at what cost to their souls? They may have violently escaped the Paragon Hotel's literal demonic soul-merging ritual, but looking at what they compromised to get their views and their money, did their obsession with fame ultimately consume them anyway? It's a fascinating, dark look at modern ambition wrapped up in a horrific package. Thanks so much for exploring this one with me, and I'll catch you on the next breakdown.